Okay. We are back. Did that glitch out for you guys as well, or just me? I went really weird. Cool. Let me do my checks real quick. Let's stop this, and I need to pop my chat out. I see a few of you guys are already in the chat. Welcome in. Yeah, for big game today. Yeah, like you said, Spurs are playing a bit of a B team in their game against Villa, which kind of bodes well for us in the fact that we will now kind of expect United to also play a B team. And I've been saying it for the longest time that this should very well be a very easy 3 points for Chelsea. This should, by all intents and purposes, be quite a cakewalk. Hopefully we get to rest some players. Hopefully we get to play some youth players then for the upcoming Forest game. We've got a strong team, and then 3 days after the Forest game we've got the Europa League final. So really tough set of fixtures in the next like 3 games. You really got to strap our boots, like tie up our laces, and kind of get into gear now, because there's no chances now. The only physical way that we can stay in the top 5 race and stay in contention for UCL places is by winning both of our games. Now, very technically, if we lose today and Villa also loses and Forest also loses, which is very unlikely, we will still have the opportunity to get into the top 5 with a win against Forest. But we don't really want to leave it to that, so let's hope that we get the 3 points today. Let's hope that the other 2 teams can fail to get points, and then we can be way above them. Now, we have the opportunity today to go 4th. We also technically have the opportunity to go 3rd above Newcastle, but we'll have to beat United by 5 goals, I think, which, considering their form and considering how they might be playing a rotated side, isn't too far-fetched. It could happen. So we never know. We might be able to get closer to that, and you never know. On the final day against Forest, goal difference could kind of become a factor in who places where. So hopefully we can kind of, get some goals today, get some good feeling behind the team as well. Now let me swap into the bingo. We'll do the bingo first. I've got a few things on here for the bingo that is a little bit different. A few things that are kind of the same, and then obviously I'll go through my predicted lineup that I put out in my video yesterday, compare it to the actual lineup that comes out, and then we'll take a look at United's lineup as well, because I've started doing that recently. I kind of like doing that. So let's swap into this. Wabang. Here we have the bingo card. Now, again, as I said, there's a few things that are new, a few things that we always have on here, so we'll go through them real quickly. The first thing is George at striker. This is just simply if George plays at striker at any point in the game, whether that's from the start or from the bench, I think he will play, so that's one on there. I put Palmer player of the match. Now, I really believe that Palmer is going to have something special for us today. He always seems to turn up against United specifically, and I don't know if that's because obviously he's from the other part of Manchester, so there we are, that he's got extra incentive to kind of perform well. I just have a really sneaky suspicion he's going to play really well now. Clean sheet as on here as ever. We have Stamford Raw. Now this is specifically because we've seen from the shed end is going to be having a lot of flag waving and scarves and things like that. I think there's like 1,000 seats that are allocated in the upper and lower of the shed end that are kind of, being that singing section, So hopefully we get a really good crowd today. We really need the crowd to be behind our team today. And this is not just for that, but specifically for, the Stamford Raw, the bashing of the boards, that kind of thing when a goal goes in. I'd love to see that today. We've got Gio on the bench. That's if he comes back from injury and is able to go on the bench. Hopefully he is. I think he's been training individually, so I'm not sure if he's ready to kind of do full kind of be in the match day squad, but hopefully he is. I would imagine I think that this is a really good opportunity for him to get back into fitness. If he is able to play a little part today, even if it's just 10 minutes, I would like to see him get off the bench and kind of get some kind of fitness into his legs. We'll probably need him as a substitute for Forest. We'll probably need him in the Conference League final as well. Personally, I would start him in the Conference League final, even though Jackson is available. I think that Gio's kind of earned it a little bit. We have early goal as ever. We have RJ starts. This is for if Reece starts. Now, I haven't predicted Reece to start, but I know that a lot of people in my comments of my video yesterday were saying they probably expect Reece to start. I think he'll probably start against Forest, because I think that's a more important game. So that's kind of why I haven't predicted him there. So that's if RJ starts. We have midfield men versus boys. Now, this is one of those games where I feel like our midfield, obviously we have Lavia, we have Enzo, we have Palmer, we have Caicedo. I think they're just going to completely walk over this United midfield, like completely walk over them. And that's for if that happens. We have game 2 halves as always. We have an unlikely goal scorer as always. We have a player booked for dissent as always. We have a clean tackle punished as always. Maresca ball in full flow as always, and a refs/VAR mistake as always. Some new ones down here. We have United back post issues. This is for specifically that thing which I highlighted in my preview, where United have just been so poor at defending balls to the back post, and if we get a goal by playing the ball to the back post and score from it, or get an opportunity, or just, you know, keep doing that type of play and getting those opportunities, then this will get ticked off. We have a worldie. We have a Lavia assist. This was suggested by one of the guys in the Discord. So yeah, I usually ask people in the Discord for bingo suggestions beforehand, so if you want to get involved with that, join the Discord. The link will be in the description as always. We've got a correct prediction. Now, I actually I've realised I always forget to do my predictions because I get too involved in what I'm saying, and I'm too ADHD to remember to go back to that point. So I've actually put my prediction on the bingo card this time. So 3-1 is the prediction that I'm going to be going for, though I could very much see us winning 3-0. And to be fair, I've realised that this contradicts because I can't get a clean sheet and this at the same time. So, but there we are. We have set piece goal as always. We have mono on vacation for the camera stuff, not happening at the moment. We've got a top 5 race brace. So this is for if any player in our team scores a brace. I'm backing Palmer to be the one to get a brace. We have weird sub as always. We have Altai Bozo moment. This is for if Altai Bayundir plays and he has a Bozo moment. Pretty much every single game I've watched him play, he's had an absolute howler. So there we go. And then finally, for the win, we have clickety click 66, and that's fun because it's a bingo. It's bingo, so we can do that. We will end the day on 66 points if we get 3 points here today. So hopefully we can get that. Hopefully we can win, and yeah, I really want this to be an easy game. I would really like us to kind of wrap this game up before half time so we can kind of relax in a way and not have to stress about the next game. It's one of those things which even though I'm not worried about United in terms of their team being utterly woeful, their form being utterly woeful, then possibly having a rotated side that will be awful, there's always that thing in the back of my mind of United being a bogey team against us and being able to get results against stuff even when they don't play well. So I'm still a bit worried about that, but yeah, so I'd love for us to just run them over in the first half and then don't have to worry for the second half. We can play some other players. If Caicedo isn't playing right back, Gusto starts. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't think Palmer's going to play on the right. Is the thing. I don't think Palmer's playing up front. A lot of people have been saying that in my comments actually. People have been saying, "Oh, we need to play Palmer up front." I just don't see like what's the point in doing that, because we've seen how good Neto's been recently. We've seen how good Madueke's been recently, and the only player we actually need to change in the side is the striker, and George has played there. So I don't really know. I mean, if you want to put Neto as the false 9, then I understand that, but then you just bring George on as one of the wingers, and you put Madueke back over to the right side. So I don't think that Palmer goes to the right, in all honesty. If Gusto does play, which is definitely a possibility, I think Gusto, because he didn't play in the last game either, I don't think. If Gusto does play, I think he'll play in the inverted role. I think he'll play in the midfield. That's kind of how I imagine it, but I will show the side that I put out, just in case anyone in the chat did miss it, and as I always do. So I had, of course, Sanchez in goal, as always. I have Caicedo as the right back. I have Chalobah and Colwill, who have been really, really good recently as a partnership. I'm actually kind of impressed with those two. As the 2 centre-backs, we have Cucurella, of course, playing for the 5th time in a row. The only thing which I do feel is that maybe Cucurella gets a rest. I did think about this before I did my lineup in that video, but he's just so important. I just can't see him not playing. But the thing is, because he's already played 3 games in a row. This will be his 4th game in a row. We're obviously going to need him for the Europa League Conference Final. We're obviously going to need him for the Forest game, and he can't play 6 games in a row full 90s every single time. So my theory here is he either plays 45 minutes here and gets hooked at half time, or he doesn't start and Gusto plays in this left back role and kind of inverts instead. That might be what happens instead. But obviously Cuckoo's so important, I feel like he has to play. We have Lavia in the 6 as always. We have Enzo and Palmer on as the 2 kind of advanced players, and then I put for my lineup, I put Neto on the right side, Madueke on the left side, and George down the middle. Now, I kind of thought about this, and obviously we've seen Madueke's been doing really well at left wing. We've seen Neto's been doing decent at right wing. Again, this is one of these ones where I kind of second guess my decision here, because against United, and I spoke about this in my preview of how poor they are with those kind of cutbacks to the back post. I feel like Neto is so much better at that kind of burst past the player and just put the ball in on his left peg. So I feel like that's kind of something so we could see these two swap, but this is what we've been seeing in recent games. I assume we will continue. I would play George as a striker. As I said, in 190 minutes of playing as a centre forward this season, he's got 2 goal contributions, which is like almost a goal contribution per 90. So don't really see why he doesn't play. If he isn't playing today, and it is like something with a different setup, obviously we have like Neto, Madueke and Palmer maybe here, then I would be quite disappointed. I feel like he's earned the opportunity to play, and if he isn't playing here, maybe we see, as I said before, maybe we see Neto go into the false 9, we see Madueke go to his natural right side and George play off the left. I could see that with us being a bit more direct and going inwards, but personally, the reason why I'm doing this, and again, this is not really a prediction, this is more of what I want to see. The reason why genuinely part of the reason why I put George here, it's not only because we saw the good striker's instinct that he had when he got his goal in the Conference League, where he obviously reacted to that James shot and put in, which we haven't really seen in the box recently. But also just I feel like he's a better player to hit in the middle. I don't think Neto's going to be that player who actually runs into the box and gets on the end of things. He's always going to kind of drop deep and try and shoot from outside the box. So playing him as the false 9 doesn't really particularly work in my eyes. And obviously he usually, when he plays in the central role, he always drifts to the right anyway. And obviously if George is on this left side and Madueke is on the right, then it doesn't really make sense for him to do that, because then you're just going to double up on players here. But anyway, that's what I kind of that I've kind of gone with. Have we got a house into Real Madrid? Here we go. I kind of, as soon as that kind of news went out of him saying that he wanted to go there, I kind of already cut ties, to be fair. I'm not too mad about that, because I don't think that, even though he's a great player, I feel like it's one of those things where you want to get like someone with a bit more experience in the Prem, because you never know, and maybe this will happen at Madrid, we don't know. He is a class player, of course. You never know, he could be a one-season wonder. And I don't like, I feel like kind of worried about players that have these really big rises in the Prem, and then you buy them and then they suddenly just turn into absolute dog shit. So I'm kind of okay with him not being there. But yeah, I said it is a missed out target. At least then maybe we've got more funds to put towards a striker, please, because that's fine. I'd like that. And again, Chalobah and Colwell have been very, very solid recently, and obviously we've got Fofana coming back. We've got Badiashile who can play here. We've got Tosin who can play here. I don't think centre back is a particularly. I don't think it's the top of the priority list for us. I know it's definitely something we need to get, but I don't think it's the top priority. I would suggest, and I'm no scout or anything, but I would suggest focusing on left wing and striker. Those are the 2 positions we need. Obviously, we probably need a backup left back as well, but we're kind of looking at Hato. We're kind of looking at. I saw a report that we're looking at Theo Hernandez apparently, which is pretty good. I'm like, oh, okay, that's out of the blue. Not sure how good that report is, but yeah. I'm assuming that the lineup's going to be out soon, so I will just quickly check that. I will say someone just said about Gehi. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Gehi. He's not the thing. The thing which I don't like about Gehi, he's a great footballer, he's a great defender, but he doesn't fix the problems that we have, because he's predominantly played on the left side of defence anyway, which of course we don't need a left-sided centre-back, we need a right-sided centre-back. He's not particularly great in the air, which is something we've kind of suffered from in recent times. Like, us defending aerial balls has not been great, especially from set pieces. We haven't been that particularly good at this season, which is part of the reason why Howson would have been a good option, because he's 6'5", quite good in the air despite his flimsy frame. And again, it's just one of those things where I feel like a lot of the reason why people have the idea of oh, let's sign Gehi back is more so kind of built off of nostalgia rather than actual how this will improve the team. I feel like a lot of people just want him because he used to play for Chelsea. I feel like that kind of happens in the past where where it's like, oh, we need to bring back this player. I feel like that happened with Declan Rice, right? So a lot of people before he went to Arsenal being like, oh, we need to get Declan Rice, he suits our team so well, he's all this, we need him. And I was like, No, the only reason you want Declan Rice is because he's good friends with Mason Mount. That's like the only reason you guys wanted him. So I'm not too fussed with Gay. As I said, for striker, I'm actually this is gonna be surprising. I'm gonna be flat out honest here for striker. I'm gonna talk about my targets for striker. I've been convinced. I never thought I would say this, but I genuinely my top target for striker is Osimhen. I've been convinced because I've just looked at all the other options. They're either going to be way too expensive, they're either going to have way too high wages, they're going to be either going to other clubs and they're more likely to go to other clubs. And he's the only one that is of high enough quality for me to say we should go for him. That's still available. Because I would personally like Gyökeres, but I don't think he's going to come to us. I don't think that's the thing he would do. If he goes to any team, he'll go to United. If there's another, obviously, I'm thinking about Sesko, for example, is another one. I just don't trust Bundesliga strikers. I don't want him. Who's the other one? There's another massive one who's going to Arsenal. Obviously, there's rumours about Isak going to Arsenal. I don't think he's going to leave Newcastle. To be fair, I don't think Isak leaves. Heartbreak. No Lavia. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let me quickly switch to the screen. I'll get the lineup up. We'll also look at United, see if I can find it as well. So just give me a moment. Okay, here we go. George does start at striker by the looks of things, as I've just seen there. Let's hang on before I do that. Let's try. I'm going to try and find the United lineup as well. We can get them both. Get them both in here. I'm gonna have to adjust my screen as always. Ew. Feels wrong going on the wrong. It feels like really wrong going into the Manchester United Twitter page. That makes me feel uncomfortable. And they've done theirs in a really weird. They've done theirs in a really weird square shape rather than a rectangle, which is also not very nice on the eyes. But there we are. Let's try and. I'm gonna have to adjust this as always, but we'll try and get it to work. Boom. Oh, I've actually kind of banged that. Okay, so for the Chelsea lineup, we have Sanchez in goal, James at right back / right centre back, maybe. I think is kind of what we're gonna see here. Tosin, wow. Oh, whoa, this is a weird lineup. Okay. Tosin, Colwell, Cucurella. We have Caicedo, Enzo, and Madueke. No, Caicedo, Enzo. We have Madueke, Palmer, Neto, and George as the striker. Okay. For United, we have... They've got a strong team. Wait, this is strong. Hold up. I thought they would rotate way more. I thought they would rotate way more than this. So they've got Onana in goal, which I was really not expecting. Lindelof's playing, which I kind of expected. Mazraoui playing is kind of, yeah, that's fine. Maguire playing is quite worrying. We've got Mount, obviously. Bruno playing is weird. Højlund playing is weird. Dorgu playing is weird. Ahmad, Casemiro, and Shaw. This is a strong lineup that they're going for. Really strong lineup. I've just seen also in chat, someone spoke about Jonathan David, right? I spoke about him in a video a while back, and I feel like he is like the best. I think the best way to describe Jonathan David is like he is the best striker on the planet that no one rates. Absolutely no one rates the guy at all. Like no one ever talks about him, but he's always like consistently season after season getting like 20 goals a season. Crazy player. I'd be fine with him. Again, it's not the kind of target man striker that I'd prefer, but yeah. Okay, so let's kind of let's get these out of the way. Actually, let's not do that. Let's delete the United one. We can keep this one. So let's move the players into what we've got. So we've got James playing. Oh god, I'm gonna have to go find all my players. This unfortunately. We've got James playing. I'm just trying to figure it out in my head before I put this. So Lavia's not playing, so he can move. George, Neto, Madueke. It seems as if Madueke, from this lineup, it seems as if Madueke is playing on the right, actually. So what I kind of suggested before. Obviously, Palmer's playing in the kind of the 10. We have Fernandes and Caicedo in the middle. We have no Chalabar either, which is also weird. And then Kukureya, Colwell, Tosin, and okay, I've got to find them. I'm exposing the business. I've got to find these guys. In fact, actually, I'll switch to this screen whilst I fix that one. So, we got to get this guy and Tosin. I don't know where Tosin is. Have I got Tosin in the document? I don't think I do. Oh, I do. He's there. We've got James. We've got Tosin. Yeah. Okay. So, like this. Push. So, I think the majority of this, I will say, is because Enzo Maresca is trying to, I think he's trying to balance, and this is kind of what I was speaking about earlier in the stream, where I said, like, we've got a lot of big games coming up. I think he's trying to balance who's getting a lot of minutes before, because obviously our next 2 games, one of which is literal, but the other one is literally a cup final. Whereas this game against United, again, despite us needing the 3 points, of course, this could be, even if we do drop points today, we could still stay in 5th if Villa and Forest lose their games as well. So I think he's taking a couple of risks here to rest players that will be playing in that Forest game and will also be playing in the cup final. In the Europa Conference League final. So yeah, so this is what we've got here, I believe, right? I haven't messed this up, right? Caicedo, and so yeah, right. So in theory, what my brain kind of suggests is that, and this pains me to say because I know what everyone wants to see from this team. Obviously, we see Palmer, Enzo and Palmer playing as these 2 9s. What everyone wants to see from this, I would imagine, is James moving into midfield and us playing like this. I feel like a lot of people would want this. I don't think that this is happening, and I would prefer it to be Kukureya to do this inversion, because I feel like he's not only is he just better at it, but also he's going to be the player that gets up. And what we've kind of used to seeing is Tosin specifically always plays in the centre role, right? He always plays in the centre. I don't see a point of him playing if he's not in the centre, so I think James plays here on the right side as the right centre back. Colwell plays on the left side with the left centre back. Kukureya comes up with Caicedo, and then I think that he's probably going to play in this kind of, we kind of see this like him and Enzo kind of interchange, where he can take this position in the top, in the like inside 10, and Enzo can drop a bit deep to facilitate play. We'd probably see that. We'd probably see him linking up with Neto. We see, the thing is, right, with Kukureya, it doesn't matter, right? He can play anywhere. He just goes, he does this. He plays here. This is where Kukureya plays. It doesn't matter. He's in the box. He's down here defending. He's in the 10. He's out wide. He plays wherever he wants. He does what he wants as Mark Kukureya. But for simplicity's sake, I think this is kind of what we see with the box. But even maybe actually what I can, now I'm looking at this, maybe we see these two actually swap over. It seems, the thing is, it's weird because the starting 11 is set up like it's a 4-2-3-1 with obviously Madueke, Palmer and Neto across the face, but we never play that way, so I'm not expecting it to kind of end that way. This could be Palmer on the left with Enzo here, and then we could see the rotation happen and we play the diamond. And in fact, it probably won't actually be the diamond because we're probably going to dominate possession here. We're probably going to see this kind of weird 3-1-3-3 thing that we kind of see with Caicedo just being left as this lone player. I'd imagine that's what we kind of see. I didn't check who's on the bench. Who's on the bench? We've got Jurgensen, Bettinelli, Badiashile, Chalabar, Joshua Champong, Ansel Mino's on the bench. That's fun. Gusto, Lavia, and Dewsbury Hall. No Mark Guiu on the bench. Sad. We've lost a bingo point already. Can Enzo snap Mount's ankles to get Stamford Bridge rocking? I saw something that was like posted the other day on Twitter, which was like it's one of those trade offer memes, and it's like, hey, like you give us the 3 points and we'll. It was like talking to Spurs. It was like we like how we kind of have a deal here where like you beat United in the final or whatever, or like we'll crock one of your players for the final if you lose points to Villa, or like you take points off of Villa. I saw that and I was like, yes, give Caicedo, allow Caicedo to crunch someone. I feel like that might happen, right? And I am gonna, here's my early prediction for, and this could be the free space for the bingo when we come back after the game. My prediction is that there's going to be a fight in this game. There's going to be some kind of roughing. We know that Enzo in the past has had a bit of issues with Mount because of how he left. We saw that in the past. I feel like there might be a bit of rough and tumble in this game, a bit kind of like, you know, feistiness. I think Mount is the type of player to get involved in that type of stuff. He is playing today. I'm waiting for us to see Caicedo do a cruncher on Mount and then for him to shout him to stand up. I will say as I said, the United lineup is strong, and as Johnny says, the only player I really fear in that lineup is Ahmad. He's an absolute player. Every single time I've watched United, which is not often, I will admit, but anytime I've watched him, he's the best player on the pitch by a mile, like by an absolute mile. Surprised no Mweka. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised no Mweka either, but I think it's because we're starting George. I think that he could play the full 90 here, George, honestly, because he's not going to be playing in the Forest game, I'd imagine. Maybe he does play in the Forest game as well, though. Maybe because that's hard though, because obviously Jackson's out for both games, which is hard. Maybe Guiu plays in the Forest game if he's fit enough, because as I said, he has been seen in training now. So maybe he plays in the. I feel like we'll be rushing him into the game too soon. I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out as ever. That was my kind of little pre-match stream here. We'll be back after the game with I nearly said the wrong one, with the grayscale. There we go. I'm not gonna get used to it. I'm never gonna get used to it. I'm always gonna like stutter because I keep nearly saying feeling blue. But yeah, we'll be back with the grayscale after the game. We'll kind of do some. Obviously, we'll tick off the bingo card. We'll do some evaluation of this game. I want to, if I can, do a grey matters for this game. Do a tactical breakdown for this game, because I keep meaning to do them for previous games and just not getting the time. I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to do it for this one. Enzo versus Mountain in an actual fight. Who takes it? All I'm gonna say is that Enzo's from Argentina. I feel like that's a bit more of a rough place to grow up in than Pompey. But there we go. As I said, thank you guys for hanging out as always. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the game. If you're going to the bridge, make a lot of noise. If you're already there and you're tuning in at the stadium, I don't think you would be, but if you are, that's cool. As I said, thank you.